Hello, welcome to another episode of Glorious Life on Wheels. In today's video, I'm going to share with you a story about a 78-year-old woman who got scammed out of a significant amount of money. At least it was significant to her. She lives solely on a modest Social Security, and she's been forced to live in her vehicle for the last couple of years because rents have just gotten to the point that she can't afford to pay rent on her Social Security check. When I first heard about this story, I'll be honest, my first thought was, how could this happen? How could someone have been scammed like this? But then I started thinking about how many thousands of people were scammed by Bernie Madoff. And the people who he scammed were, many of them, very wealthy, successful business people. Then I started thinking about all of the dozens of people I had encountered as a peace officer who had been scammed. Again, many of them had lost retirement plans or retirement savings. They'd lost life savings. And many of them had been very astute business people. So it's not about how smart you are. It's about how devious and vicious some of these professional criminals are. And how when you're in a desperate situation, if someone comes along with a lifeline or what looks like a lifeline, especially after what happened with Sheila, after she had calamity after calamity after calamity in such a short period of time, by the time she encountered this person when she was looking for a vehicle and desperate to find a vehicle, when they extended something to her, an offer that appeared valid, and she was in that circumstance, like she said, when you're desperate, you do things you might not otherwise do. But I hope this is a cautionary tale to the many people who contact me on a regular basis saying that they're looking for vehicles, and many of them are looking online. I hope it provides some guidance as to what perhaps not to do. But I also hope that it's a bit of encouragement that even after something terrible like what happened to Sheila happens to you, you can still survive. You can be a survivor. You can have the resolve that she has. You can have the determination and the will to survive that she has demonstrated consistently despite what has happened to her. As she told me, you know what? I'm at point A. I have to figure out how to get to point B. She didn't dissolve into a puddle of self-pity. She pulled herself up and said, I'm going to survive, and I'm going to get through this and get to the next point where I need to get to. And I have such respect for her for being able to do this. And I think you will too. But you know what? I'm not going to say any more. I want you to hear from Sheila directly. So here's her story in her own words. Well, hello, Sheila.
Hi, Carol. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for doing this interview with me. You have had just a number of devastating events that happened within a very short period of time and just contributed to a lot of things. Can you tell my viewers what kind of the start of these events was?
On March 21st, 2024, I was standing outside of a grocery store in Florida. The next thing I know, I'm on the ground. I hit the cement barrier between the cars.
Now, someone had pushed you, you told me?
Yes, someone pushed me. I felt it on my back.
So you felt their hand on your back?
Yes, and it was pretty strong. And at that point, I'm on the ground. The manager came out with other people. It's not our fault. Where's your car? They got me to my car. I found out where the hospital was, and I drove myself to the hospital.
Did anyone even offer to drive you to the hospital, call an ambulance or anything?
No. Nobody.
Just it's not our fault. Get in your
Correct.
car, got you in car, and
you're on your own.
Wow.
And so then I went to Blake Hospital in Bladenton, Florida. I had surgery there because if I had not had it, I ended up with a cracked patella, which is a kneecap. I would not have been able to walk.
After the surgery, you ended up being in rehab in the hospital for an extended period of time?
Yes, I was in the in-house rehab at Blake Hospital for I was there approximately 3 weeks. Then they transferred me to another rehab. And then when
How long were you there?
I was there, what, a couple weeks, 2, 3 weeks, I believe.
So basically, after you had the in-house therapy at the hospital and then the other one that you said didn't really help, you were back to living in your vehicle, recovering with this surgery from a broken kneecap.
Yes, and at that point, upon getting out of that rehab, I drove from Bladenton, Florida to Lewis, Delaware. And then I had an issue when I got to Lewis, Delaware. I ended up in the emergency room, and they found out that the knee was infected or inflamed or something like that. I don't remember what they told me. And I had a second surgery.
So you had 2 surgeries while living in your vehicle.
Yes. The first one was in March, and the second one was May 1st.
So we're going to talk a little bit more about this and what it's like living in a vehicle. We're going to talk about this in a second video about living in a vehicle after having a serious medical condition. But then something else happened to your car after this. You want to share what that was?
September 3rd. Someone ran a light, didn't want to wait for the light to change. I'm sitting in their line waiting for the light to change, and he comes in front of the hit of my car and demolishes another car.
And then did he stay or?
No, he took off.
Oh my gosh.
About 50 miles an hour, he ran the light, and it was hit and run. I called the police, and there was nothing they could do. They checked the cameras, and there was nothing, which I knew would happen.
So your front end is completely just demolished almost, just smashed in.
Yeah, there's a lot of damage.
But it still drives.
It's still drivable.
And you're still living in that same vehicle.
And I am still living in that.
So at this point, your car that you're living in has the front end damaged extensively, and the guy has taken off. Did your insurance pay you for the damage to get it fixed?
There was that. I did get that. Rental was set up with Enterprise. And when the manager there found out that I was a van life person, he said, we don't have a car. We don't have a car. I needed a minivan or an SUV, something like I had, because I had to stay in the car while the car was being repaired.
Yeah, so you couldn't have a regular car. You wanted.
Correct.
So once they found out you were a van life, all of a sudden they continually, every time you checked, they never had a vehicle available. Did they ever offer to go to contact another location and see if they could get one from another location?
No, they never did, but the collision company tried. They really did everything they could, but I could get nothing.
So at that point, when you couldn't get a rental vehicle to stay in while your car is being worked on, what did you decide to do?
I started looking online because I've heard that's an avenue.
So you were looking online to what, buy another vehicle?
Yes, to get a van.
Because at this point, you still didn't know how sound mechanically your vehicle was going to be after an accident.
Right.
Went online and you found what looked like a legitimate auto dealer on Facebook ads? Is
Yes.
that where? Okay. And you interacted with them for how long?
About 3 weeks.
So this wasn't just a one-time thing.
No.
And you were saying they had a complete description of everything on the vehicle,
Mm-hmm.
and they looked like a legitimate dealership.
Correct.
And then once you agreed, they had you pay how?
Go into Walmart and get the Apple debit card, gift cards.
Okay.
And that's the way all these companies work.
And then you got the gift cards and you sent them.
You give them, you erase the number and they get the number, and as soon as they get it, your money's gone.
But you didn't realize that at the time.
No, I didn't realize it because I never even thought of this.
So you drove over thinking you're going to pick up your vehicle in South Carolina, because you were just right next door in North Carolina.
Correct.
And you go to pick up the vehicle, and what did you find when you got to the location?
An empty lot.
An empty lot. Wow. And you were telling me when you went to police, they told you that this has happened untold number of times. Many times.
Correct.
So what else did they say? You were telling me about an officer had been scammed?
Yeah, I went to Waynesville, North Carolina police, and I did the reports there and all that. And he said, this happens more than you would believe. Actually, it happened to one of our officers here. They are very convincing.
Well, if they weren't, no one would even look at him a
That's
second time.
correct. And they do this all the time, is what I've been told.
And one of the reasons, and I want to thank you that you wanted to share this, is because there's so many people out there now, they're going to have to move into vans and vehicles. And they're looking for them online. And you wanted to share your experience. And how did the ad look when you looked at it?
It looked professional, like every other ad that you see on Facebook.
And they had a name of an auto
Yes,
place.
It was called Grace's Auto Cars.
And the professional pictures?
Pictures, descriptions, VIN numbers, everything like when you're looking for a vehicle in any dealership.
All right. And you sent them the money, and so now you're out. So now at this point, you've been in surgery twice. You're living in your car for what, at that point, over a year?
Mm-hmm.
Because you were
over 2 years.
For financial reasons.
Yes.
This wasn't like I'm going to go out on a whim. This was, I have to live in my car.
Right.
And this is, oh my goodness. But you know what impresses me the most about you? Is that you have not just said, that's it, sat down, rolled over and said, I'm just going to sit here and feel sorry for myself. You've got up, you dusted yourself off, and you said, I'm moving on. And you were telling me something about that. Do you want to share with my viewers your attitude about this?
Well, you just have to figure out, this is where I am at. This is point A. I have to get to point B. I have to survive. And you have to figure it out, or figure a way how you are going to get out of this. And if you think long and hard enough, you will find a solution.
And in my conversations with you, you have never said to me, oh, woe is me. You've never been, I'm the victim, and on and bitter. You just moved on.
That's correct. Because it doesn't matter what happened. It's over and done with. You have to move forward. Put one foot in front of the other.
And that's how you have lived.
And that's how I live. And you also need a positive mind. And that's how I live.
Well, I admire your tenacity, your resilience at 78, going on 79 very soon. And I really respect that you are willing to come on and share this to try and help anyone who's out there in a situation where they're being forced to move into a vehicle and they're looking to find one, to be careful. Is there anything that you can tell people to do differently in their looking for a vehicle online?
Just be extremely careful. Tell them you want, wherever they are, you want to see the vehicle.
Right.
I've never in my life did this. I made one mistake and it ended up costing me.
And I would say also to check out the VIN number.
Yes.
Check the VIN number with maybe a DMV. Make sure that the VIN number is titled to the name of the organization or the business that's selling it. And also make sure the VIN number matches, when you go to see the vehicle, it matches the vehicle that it's attached to.
Correct.
You know what? We live and learn, don't we?
We surely do. And you just survive. That's all.
Well, you are surviving, and you're still living in the vehicle that was in the accident.
Correct.
But you're making it work.
Yes.
Well, Sheila, thank you. We're going to have another video that we're going to air, and we're going to show a little more about your vehicle, which you, by the way, now have a bed in, because you didn't have a bed in before.
No, I didn't.
But now you do.
Yes.
And I thank you so much. And again, you have my utmost admiration for being a survivor and just moving forward, no matter what has happened to you.
That is correct. Thank you so much, Carol.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
You too.